Today, we're going to talk about the 4 most important strength exercises every runner should be doing. Hey runners and welcome. My name is Letty Runs. I host the Marathon Running Podcast every week and now also this channel. So if you're new, I invite you to check this out and consider subscribing. But let's hop into today's topic. All right, so very briefly, this topic was inspired by one of our listeners who kind of has a similar story as most runners, right? Started running a 5K, moved up to the 10K half marathon, and next thing you know, it's been only 2 years and he's addicted to marathoning. At the same time, there's so much information out there about how important strength training is for not just boosting your performance, but also preventing injuries. So he messaged us and asked us to please clarify what are these most important exercises, because we all know it. We go to the gym and we really don't know what to do, right? It's like the blind leading the blind, and that's what we're here to do. Also, as you guys know, we never claim to be experts on our podcast, but we bring experts on as our guests. And our guests that told us about these 4 exercises, or 4 if you're American, is Brodie Sharp, Australian physiotherapist who's done a ton of research. So let's talk about these exercises, why they're important, and look at how they're done. And we have our friend Wes do these, model them for you because he's just amazing at his form. Note that Wes is not using weights though. All of these exercises are supposed to be done with weights. Maybe you just want to make sure that you get your form right first, and then you want to start loading up very, very gently. So just like with marathon training, you don't hop into the high mileage right away. You start slowly, do the same with weights, and keep loading up until you finally get to a point where you can lift heavy while doing these exercises. Exercise number 1, lunges. Lunges are fantastic because they mimic your running motion. So when you're doing lunges, you're kind of targeting the same muscles as you do when you're running, which is the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads. And imagine once you start loading up weight on that, you're just going to become stronger. Another reason lunges are great is because they help you with your stability and balancing, which when you're doing long runs later on in your marathon training, that'll help you. Also, if you're ever trail running, that's also going to help you. So when you do a lunge, you want to stand tall with feet shoulder width apart. Step forward with one leg, lowering your hip until both knees form the 90-degree angle. Keep your back straight and ensure your front knee is aligned with your ankle. Push through your front foot and return to the starting position. And then you repeat that on the other side. You can do lunges for the amount that you desire or do them back and forth like Wes does in the video. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure that you pay close attention to your form, and slower is better. So notice how Wes keeps his back straight and his knees aligned with his ankle as he steps forward. He's pushing through his front foot to return to the starting position. And that is just a great way of simulating the forward propulsion that you would do while you're running. All right, so next up are number 2, deadlifts. Deadlifts are a great way of building your posterior chains. They work your glutes, your hamstrings, your core, and your lower back. And strengthening all those muscles is great for your running form. Now to perform a deadlift, you have to stand with your feet shoulder width apart, your toes slightly pointed outward, and then you slightly bend your knees and hinge at the hips, maintaining a straight back. As you saw, we don't have any weights here, but if we had weights or a barbell, free weights, you would grab them with a mixed grip, which means one hand over and one under. And then you would drive through your heels to lift the barbell or the free weights, keeping your back straight and core engaged. You would pause at the top and then slowly lower the barbell or free weights back to the ground. As you can see, Wes is maintaining that straight back, hinging at his hips and driving through his heels as he pretends to lift something. Doing all of this translates into full body strength, which then translates into a more efficient runnings due to having a great running form. All right, so moving on to exercise number 3, which is the lower body staple, which is squats. Squats are a classic because they make sure that you hit your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings hard, especially once you start loading up weight for those. And training the lower body areas makes sure that you stay injury-free and become super efficient. Now to perform a squat, you stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width, toes pointing slightly outwards. You lower your hips as if you're sitting back into a chair, keeping your back straight and knees aligned with your ankles. You push through your heels to return to standing. Now pay close attention to how Wes keeps his chest up and his knees aligned with his toes as he lowers himself. The key is to drive through your heels to come back up just like you do when pushing off during a run. Alright, so moving on to exercise number 4, which is calf raises, which is the most neglected one out of all of them. Strong calves support your running stride, but also will help you go further and faster. So it's super important to do those. How do you perform them? You stand with your feet shoulder width apart, raise your heels off the ground, keep your toes planted, and hold briefly at the top and then slowly lower your heels. For a challenge, also try single-leg calf raises and see how those go for you. Those are really going to be important when it comes to stability and balancing. But again, just try to get the form right in the beginning. Remember, to use strength exercises to become better at running, it's important to just do them 2 to 3 times a week and just stay consistent with it. So start conservatively and gradually work yourself up within the first 2 to 3 weeks so that way you don't get injured. Also, to avoid injury, make sure that you focus on doing the form properly, and just as with running, listen to your body because your body gives you so many indicators of when something is about to go wrong. And there you have it. These are the 4 most important exercises to boost your performance and prevent injuries. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section below. If you feel like there should be other exercises including in this routine and other readers should know about that, also put that down there. Consider subscribing, and until next video, have a great week of running.